All right, Nick. Wondering if we should go live. Wondering if maybe we should just stay off the air after Stevenson just hit that bomb. But soon we'll keep the tradition alive. Running a little behind on my end. So apologies for those that are wondering why the heck we didn't go live. Sometimes you get lost in the sauce. Nick,
what's going on?
Doing well. I think your microphone. Let's talk again.
Check.
Somehow you're lagging, but who knows what that could be? That could be the software. It could be the microphone. It could be the video camera. I know there has been times where we've kind of just said,
how we look.
I think you fixed it somehow.
So weird that it just.
Yeah, I think it's just software, Yeah. I really don't think it's something that we can fix. I think it just randomly happens sometimes, and then there's.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Sure, there's somebody that knows more about software than I do that would say I'm an idiot for saying that, but I'm an idiot, so there is that.
All right, let's add Tyler Stevenson's face. Sorry, Reese, you get the boot, brother. How was your day, Trace?
Pretty decent. I had to think long on that one. Pretty decent. There was good parts of it and bad parts.
Did you get some sleep?
Oh my God, you're way behind now.
What?
What's going on? Let me see something. Hold on. All right.
Check.
Back.
What the hell is going on? Yeah, it's not ideal because when that happens too, the podcast is also a little weird because there'll be like an echo in it.
Yeah, that's what just happened. There was like an echo. I could hear like a small echo of my voice.
Yeah, like when there would be a pause.
Yeah, I don't know what is.
No one would know that because I took all the time to.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous, dude.
Oh, because it sounded terrible. There we go. Austin wins.
This dude hits baseballs, man.
Wait, why is Austin wins in the game?
He pinch hit for like Espinal or something? I don't know.
Who the hell did he pinch hit for? Slater?
Left-handed? He pinch hit for a left-handed hitter? I don't know, man. I was rushing to get down here. I couldn't tell you what's up and what's down right now. All I know is
Fraley was pinch hitting for Slater.
Oh, so they went pinch hit.
Yeah. So Fraley didn't actually. So welcome back, Jake. You were a decoy.
Yeah.
To get the tying run in the hole.
Well, gotta get him on. You gotta get him on to get him over to get him in, man.
Because I was like, I thought this was Austin Slater's point, but I didn't. Yeah, we were worried about the software. I didn't see Fraley's face go up to the plate.
Blackmore, that made me laugh, man. I appreciated that. Let's just get one more guy on, make this interesting. You're also ahead of me, by the way, not to make it a big deal, but 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Pitch. Foul ball.
All right, tell me when he throws it back.
Throws it back, caught.
All right.
Walks back to the mound.
We should be in business.
All right. So I have a take.
Okay.
It's not a serious one before I get DMs.
Okay.
Marte should get rid of the yellow sleeve. I think we should stick with the red sleeve from now on.
3 hits.
Yeah.
3 hits.
Get rid of the yellow sleeve. It's got to go. I mean, it was cute while it lasted. I'm glad that he wore it for the first few days to make it's his country, right? Is that it? By the way, I'll take all the credit. I'll take every bit of credit. If you don't want to give it to me, that's fine. I'll take it all for myself. I'll tell him he's terrible again.
Resigns at the plate right now.
I'm well aware of the situation. I'm also keeping track of what J.R. House's did down there. That'd be the winning run at the plate if you're counting at home.
if Austin wins and resigns, the only two guys I've really dumped on all year.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Rhys Hines to do his best to not try to hit a ball out. I don't know if he has that in him, but those little change ups away, let's act like that's not gonna be the last one, you know?
I think the Rockies pitching staff had a come to Jesus meeting this afternoon.
Yeah. You throw more than one strike to Rhys Hines, you're an idiot.
You did not read the scouting report that we sent you.
No. That guy.
Oh.
That's not a pitch to throw. I am a little worried about the fact he's going to go. He went change up, change up, or something like that. Change up, slider, change up. He's going to try to throw a fastball like up or something. Will he chase it?
If this is anywhere near the strike zone, this guy should be demoted.
He should throw a fastball sky high. Yep.
Wow.
That was actually a pretty good piece of hitting to even get a ball to get a barrel up there in time to even get a decent piece on that.
I think you wanted that pitch probably a little bit higher than that, though.
He did, but I mean, it was pretty well located.
Santiago.
He got it up there just high enough, man. A little too much velocity.
Get India to the plate.
I know. I tell you, I don't know. Just as long as you don't hit a ground ball, dude.
Please.
I'll take you know what, chat? You think I'm stupid? You can call me stupid after I say this. I'll take a strikeout.
Hopefully he walks him.
That's fine too, but I mean, I anything but a ground ball. And I'm not going to be super pissed. What's the Adidas batting gloves?
There you go.
All right, don't swing. This is one of those situations where 2-0, if you're a big league hitter, you know you have to be ready to hit, but oh gosh. Don't hit a ground ball, Nick. Dude, this guy just kills me, man. 2-0 and he can't get the ball off the ground. Come on, I got a good feeling, Nick. Come on. Oh, my God.
I'll take that.
Oh, my gosh. Whew. What are we doing?
Oh, my God. Did he
get the second? Get the second. Oh, my gosh.
Santiago. Oh.
That just goes to show you baseball's a dumb game, man. What a dumb game this is. I don't know how well he hit that ball. He obviously hit it well enough to get through, but golly, as soon as it was hit, though, I was like, oh, no. The second baseman just kind of drifted a little bit too far over.
That wasn't even a hard hit ball. 94, 1 mile per hour short.
That's hit good enough, though. I'll take it.
It's not considered a hard hit.
I know what you're saying. You got to draw the line in the sand somewhere, but also kind of a crazy move by the center fielder. The Rockies just rocky. The Reds just red from time to time. I just still can't. I'm not going to give it. J.R. House's name is getting bigger and bigger on this rundown. Can we do this one time? What are we doing? Espinal is that slow, or we got? Dude, imagine being a little 5'9" or whatever he is, 6 foot middle infielder, and you're so freaking slow they got a pitch run for you. Oh man! All right, let's do it. Come on, Johnny Baseball. We're not going on contact. I want to be very clear. This is when you do not go on contact. You do not go on contact. You do not go on contact under any circumstance. You got to see the ball past the pitcher. I want to be very clear. freeze on a line drive. I mean, all the basic routine things you hear in Little League. Come on, Johnny. All right. Come on. Come on. Nope. That ain't going to do it. Should be tied, just so we're all aware, though. Shout out to JR House. What just happened? What just happened? Oh, my God, dude. Someone connected to my TV down here. Like, you can't be serious.
Someone try to.
They just put Netflix on my TV down here. They obviously just.
Oh no!
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
6 seconds with Ellie up.
No, we were right on. Ooh.
Listen, I'm gonna say it because I hope he does it, but Ellie hasn't really had a clutch moment yet this year. Could this be it? Could he hit one to the freaking... I hope he hits the K sign up there in the Kroger deck. All right. Quit connecting to the TV! I'm trying to watch a game, Nick.
Good take.
What is my wife doing?
Did you see that?
I'm back. I'm seeing a replay right now.
Ellie foul.
Little cap.
He barely got that one. Oh man.
All right, I can't watch the game. I'm literally getting ready to break something. I'm getting ready to break something. I mean, imagine watching 2 hours of something and then you can't even watch the end. Is it over?
Yeah, it's over.
I can't believe this. Nick, ask me how my day is going again.
Trace, how's your day going?
It's going about as well as JR House's.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Reds win! Line to the right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
This is the first time that I think I've ever come on this show speechless. I don't even know what happened to end the game because at some point, somehow, my TV keeps getting connected to by somebody. I don't know who. I will find out. But I do know who's standing at third base. And if he's standing at third base tomorrow, it's by God's grace. I can tell you that right now, because if I was the manager of this baseball team, or if I was Nick Kroll, or if I was Bob Castini, or I was anybody, I don't give a damn. If you're just a sliver above J.R. House, he's done. You're done, brother. You're done. You got like one job. You grab guys' batting gloves if they hit a triple. You grab guys, whatever else if they hit a triple, and you tell them when to go home if you need to. The last thing you do is make the first out at third base. We already do that enough with the players. The baseball IQ collectively on this team is about as good of a 10-year-old. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Little Leaguers. Some of them actually know how to play the game the right way. Nick, I thought I was going to start this show off not really all that upset, because you know what? I'm watching in like the 7th inning, and it's like, yeah, we were kind of due for this. You're going to lose a baseball game probably at some point to the Rockies, and today's that day. And then everything just, it started going the Reds' way, and I started to believe again, and then now here we are. Just just get our hopes up and tear us right down. Nick, I'm doing my best to buy you time right now. I can tell that you need some time. I can't rant any longer. I'm actually sad about it. And some people are going to watch this podcast and be like, why does he talk so long? It's because Nick needs some time. You see him looking left, looking right, looking left, looking right. Here, I got the box score recap for you, Nick. You ready? Ready for it? The Rockies finally pulled their tail out of their heads and actually scored some runs for the first time in a long time against the Cincinnati Reds. After that, the Reds looked dead. Then, magically, started hitting baseballs over the yard, and J.R. Haas, and by Haas, I mean his Haas was literally his head. Anyways, Nick, go ahead.
All right, Reds taking on the Rockies, Game 3 of 4 at Great American Ballpark. Frankie Montas gutted through 7 innings. Rockies' number 9 hitter, Sam Hilliard, who just got recalled from AAA, really did him in. Hilliard homered twice off Montas. Montas' final line, 7 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Reds' offense was mostly held in check by Rockies lefty Kyle Freeland. The only run early in the game was on a Jonathan India no-doubter home run in the 3rd. Reds had 8 hits off Freeland, but only got 2 runs across the board. In the 7th inning, Tyler Stevenson led off with a ball that ended up rolling off the wall. Stevenson tried to turn that into a triple, and he was a dead duck. Heard a little more when Noelvi Marte doubled, his 2nd hit of the game, and Reese Hines singled home Marte. Reds brought the tying run to the plate and chased Freeland, but India grounded out to strand the runners. Reds trailed 5-2. Brent Suter gave up a run in the 8th to make it 6-2, and then we go to the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th, Tyler Stevenson led off with a home run. Home runs in back-to-back days for Stevenson. Stevenson now has 8 home runs. Then Austin Wynns off the bench, pinch hitting for the pinch hitter as the Rockies and as Bud Black and David Bell played chess. Austin Wynns singled. Noelvi Marte singled, his 3rd hit of the day. Reese Hines hit a ball a ways, 311 feet, but it was just a flyout. And then Santiago Espinal singled up the middle to make it a 6-4 game. Jonathan India then hit a sac fly, bringing up Ellie De La Cruz with the tying run on second base, but Ellie grounded out to end the game. Reds fall 6-5. Reds now 8-17 in 1-run games. The Reds' 8-game win streak against the Rockies is snapped. Reds now 44-49 on the season. Reds are now guaranteed to get to the All-Star break below 500.
All right, we have a deep drive of the day sponsored by DSC. Jonathan Indy, we had a couple deep drives of the day, so don't hit them all in one game. Don't hit them all in one game, Reds. Jonathan Indy, 7th home run of the year, 108 off the bat, 415 feet. That was in the bottom of the 3rd. It gave the Reds a 2-run deficit because it was a solo shot, and it increased their winning percentage by 9%, but as we all know, it would end up being 0%. The Deep Drive of the Day is sponsored by DSC, and they are a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. All right, I'm going to have to rally a little bit here, Nick. I'm going to have to rally because here's the thing. I have nothing good to say about J.R. House. And there's times like this where you can overreact. You can do these things like, guys, I'm being honest. Like, when you're the third base coach, you have other responsibilities, certainly. Yeah, maybe you help with this or you help with that. But, you know, it's really hard to be the third base coach in certain situations, right? Sending guys home is not the easiest decision all the time, right? You have to be, as a third base coach, a pitch ahead at all times. Players should be like that. But if you're a coach, it's not even an option. You got to be one pitch ahead at all times. And what I mean by that is it's like, what's the score? How many outs? What's the speed on the base paths? Where is the outfield playing? These are all things you have to know. Like, it's not complicated. And the concept that a ball gets hit in the outfield and you're down by, what are we down by, Nick? 4 or 5 runs?
I think it was 3 runs at the time, but your point stands. No, but it was 4. It was 5-1.
It was 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1.
Ball gets hit down the right field line. You don't have many outs left. You're going to have to get more than one hit in an inning to get them in anyways. Just be safe. You got Tyler Stevenson running. He knows it's inexcusable. He knows it's inexcusable. But the real problem I have, just like this baseball team as a whole, is I don't know how many players on this team, and certainly I guess now I got to start questioning the coaches, how many people are playing a pitch ahead? How many people actually think about all the different situations and all the different, possibilities that are going to happen before the pitch is thrown? If you try to figure this out after the pitch is thrown, you're done. It's too late. It's inexcusable. It genuinely is inexcusable. And I know I can sit here and scream and yell, and people think I'm overreacting. I'm not overreacting. Like, yeah, this stuff matters. Nick, how much money do teams spend to try to win, quite honestly, 2 to 3 to 4 more games in a season? That's what they're doing. When they go out and get Emilio Pagan and Nick Martinez and Montas and all of these other guys Candelario, they're trying to get like 3 or 4 more wins in an entire season. And your third base coach, I'm not saying he lost the game, but damn it, he shouldn't even ever be on the rundown. And if he is on the rundown, we could be questioning whether or not he sent a guy home or not. That's a tough decision. I can live with that. But I still can't get over it. As I'm talking, I still can't get over it. How in the world you can make a decision like that when that's the spot of the game? Like, it's so impossible. It's so impossible. But here we are. And I don't know if it cost him a win or not, but damn it, there's a chance it did. I know that. I don't know if you have anything to add to it. I said my piece about it, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get over it, to be honest.
Yeah, J.R. House has been with the Reds since 2019 as the third base coach. That's pretty, long tenured. I know that he's had some big blunders in the past. I know from a past life when I used to write about baseball. Thank God I don't do that anymore. One of my most famous game recaps was titled "Thanks J.R. House" because he made something boneheaded. So, I mean, it's a thankless job. So I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how good he is. I hope the Reds do. I hope they have some quantitative data that says he's good or bad. Because just to sit here and be like, yeah, this guy sucks without, going through, every single play and every single time. But yeah, I mean, this one today, that was one of the, I don't know if it was the worst base running decision of the year, but it's well up there. Because that, and just that spot, you cannot do that.
Yeah, it's inexcusable. Like, it genuinely is inexcusable. And I know people are tired of hearing me say that, but I just can't wrap my head around. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. But I guess we move on. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about it other than that I don't know. If I were him though, I would ask to want to speak with the media because I think you eat it. I think you just got to go out and just absolutely take the bullet. And if he did that, I'd actually like have some respect for I don't want to say like I have a ton of respect to lose for him or anything like that, but at least he's owning it. But I doubt it.
Yeah, this happened. Reds and Cubs, you might remember. Willie Harris, former Red, their third base coach, made a really dumb decision. He got up in front of the media and said, "Hey, I screwed up. I made a mistake." I hope he does that as well. And I think he will, to J.R. House's credit, because I do remember another time specifically where he did get up and say, "Hey, it was my fault. I screwed up on that." I think he would. If he doesn't, then I think you have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, a bigger problem.
I know what you're saying. I mean,
you still have a
they're not going to replace him. They're not going to replace him because I don't think David Bell has that in him, and I don't love that about David Bell, if we're being honest. But yeah, kind of Frankie Montas. Let's talk about him. Did we ever think he was as good as he was when he started this year off the way he did, or did we think that this was? I guess my question to you is, do you think that this is average Montas, below average Montas, or dare I say a little bit better, but I doubt you're going to say that.
I feel like almost every start this year, outside of a couple, it's been, Frankie Montas was fine. Like, he's fine. He's had a couple of really good starts. He's had a couple of really big clunkers. Tonight wasn't terrible, by any means. The home runs he gave up were, not terribly, crushed home runs or anything like that. I don't know. Baseball's weird. Frankie one-hits this team in Coors Field on June 4th, and then gets hit around. Give up 8 hits today. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is for that. Montas came in pitching really well. He gave up 2 runs against the Yankees, 1 run against the Cardinals, 2 runs against the Red Sox. I mean, that's about as good of a 3-game stretch as you could have. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just clunker tonight. You hope that there's more of those last 3 starts, but my guess is it's probably just going to be this, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad type thing with Montas.
Can I say this? I know people are tired of me complaining about the offense. I don't have anything to say about Montas. He was fine in general. I mean, it wasn't the world's worst performance tonight. However, I'm still waiting. And it feels like they've had opportunities, Nick, in the last few weeks. They've had opportunities. They were right there to do it. And this offense has yet to just kind of bail out the pitching staff, like as a bail them out in the sense that they win the game too. Like, maybe something's escaping me right now. But
they kind of bailed out Lodolo yesterday. A little bit. I mean, it's not I mean, they already had the lead, but, they didn't let that game get away from them.
Yeah, they kept scoring. I give them credit for that, but I meant like the standpoint that, you give up 5 or 6 runs early and then you roar back and you find a way to win because you just outscore the other team.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's more of a psychological thing. I'm willing to admit that than it is of actual whether or not the offense won the game or the pitching staff won the game type situation, but it more or less feels like it's a momentum builder. Tonight's a momentum builder. The opening game against the Detroit Tigers, when you just swept the Yankees, you're a swing away. You're a swing away from having just a huge momentum push. And I guess I'm not saying that tonight if they win, it's, oh my gosh, look out, here come the Reds. But you got a chance for a 4-game sweep tomorrow, and that would be massive. Instead, you drop it. Now you got to find a way to take 3 or 4. I don't know. But it's a situation where the Reds are they're going to have to do something special, Nick. I know that we can downplay the idea that you don't need to sweep a team for 3 games ever, and taking 3 or 4 is unbelievably great. And I agree, right? Those things are true. But to get back to a position where this team can make the postseason, they're going to have to just do something they're not supposed to do. And it felt like this was an opportunity. You get swept by the Tigers, And then dare I say, I wasn't going to say it out loud, but I was starting to think it. Can you just win out until the All-Star break? Because if you do that, then I think you're cooking with gas. But obviously that didn't happen. Anything you want to add about Montas before we move on to Marte?
No, don't really have a whole lot on Frankie Montas today.
All right. Marte, good to see him obviously get some base hits. He had 3 hits tonight.
He had 3 hits. He also made it wasn't a spectacular play by any means, but there was a runner on third base, just it was a perfect routine third baseman play, checks the runner, gets him back, makes a nice strong throw over to first. So that was as good to see as the 3 hits almost, in my opinion, because he had DH the last 2 days. The Reds kind of, I guess, just gave him a mental break defensively, and so played third base adequately, which he was not doing. So that's an improvement. But yeah, 3 hits. This is you just get a glimpse of what the player he can be. Like, he's not back. He's not gonna hit 300 the rest of the year or anything like that. There's gonna be ups and downs with him. And it would have been silly to expect anything other than that.
I think Marte, and people, this might bite me. I think Marte's a good player. He's young. It's going to take some time. Last year, I thought that he played about as well as you could have ever hoped when he came up. And now he's hopefully getting back into a little bit of a comfortability from the situation that happened. I think we might have overstated or understated, which way you want to look at it, the severity of the psychological factor that goes into what happened to him. And I'm not making excuses for him. No one should feel sorry for him. He did something he wasn't supposed to do, but we're all human. And I would just say about Marte that if he can kind of get his confidence back and he can kind of get over the hurdle that maybe he cheated, then I think he's going to be a damn good player, period.
Noelvi Marte's a really good player. I'd extend him tomorrow. I believe in Noelvi Marte. I just don't know what he's going to be this year. But this is a guy that, again, I've said it before, but he really was not expected to make the big leagues last year. The Reds called him up because they had a bunch of injuries towards the end of the year. They tried to give them a spark, and it worked. It was successful. But I can't imagine there's a single person in the Reds front office that when they called up Noelvi Marte, they expected him to do what he did at the end of the year. So I think that kind of raised expectations unfairly, but it didn't really change expectations for me about this kid's future, because this is a top 25 prospect. This isn't, I think that kind of got lost when he got the 80-game suspension and he had like that 16-game hitting streak. Like, he was still a prospect. He had not even reached to the level where you're no longer considered a prospect. And he was, the Reds' number 1. I think Lauder passed him, but right, that's looking almost like it was maybe a little overreactionary as well. Yeah, I have all the faith in Noelvi Marte long term. This year, I think it's going to be a lot of ups and downs with him, and you hope to just see some real growth out of him at the end of the year, and he instills some confidence that, all right, next year we're going to expect him to take the big league, kind of almost like Elly De La Cruz last year. I think Noelvi Marte is pretty much right at the same spot Elly De La Cruz was, maybe more like in August of last year.
Before I forget, I need to say something about Santiago Espinal. I think the guy gets beaten like a drum most time, maybe deservedly so. But this kid has gotten some big hits. He's gotten some really big hits. And what sucks for him is not a single one of them actually have ended up making they've lost. He's gotten some really big hits, man. Like, this is like this third one, and not a single one of them have ended up to where it actually mattered. I kind of feel for Santiago a little bit in that regard, because if they come back and win, Santiago Espinal's name gets brought up 100%. So I at least want to bring it up now that since they lost, he had a big hit the day in which I think who got thrown out at the plate that we were all upset about. I can't remember, man. It's a long season, but Benson, maybe? I don't remember. But
You know who Santiago Espinal reminds me of? He reminds me of Ramon Cabrera.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
if you remember
Yeah.
that name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a solid player his year with the Reds. Not great, not memorable. Ramon Cabrera did actually end his career with a grand slam walk-off against the Pirates. His last or second to last game of his career, but it's a guy that he kind of reminds me of.
Well, I'm glad that Cabrera's name got brought up in a Reds podcast on July 10th, 2024. So there's that.
Legends never die. Legends never die.
That they do. I don't know. Final thoughts on the offense. I really am at a loss. I came into this thinking, you know what? I'm going to cheer everybody up. We're going to be okay. We're going to fight the fight. We're going to get back on the horse tomorrow. We're going to win a baseball game when it matters the most, and we're going to sweep the Marlins. And I'm beaten. I just am. I just, time and time again, they've done this. They get your hopes up. I mean, Nick, we had one out with the tying or winning run a hit away 2 times this series. 2 times. And neither time did we even sniff a chance.
This homestand,
yes. Yeah. And now we're what, 2-4 on the homestand?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not good enough, man. You want to talk about game time?
Yeah, 12 hits today. I mean, that's
great.
I don't know.
Why did we have so many hits and not enough run? What happened?
I think you got to give some credit to Kyle Freeland. This was a guy that was coming and pitching very well. He had an ERA, I think, under 2 since he came back off the IL. He had messed up his elbow or something. I mean, he made good pitches. This is a good pitcher. This isn't a guy that's some scrub. But
I guess that happens sometimes when you take a run away and you give an out away in the same area. That happens. Kind of a big deal. I guess my thing, could you imagine having the bases loaded, Nick, and then somebody walks on the field and they say, well, here's the deal. The guy at third base, he's now off the field. And, oh, by the way, you got 1 out. Kind of a big deal. Just saying. Game time. If you're looking to go down to the Great American Ballpark, there's one place to turn. If it was up to me, J.R. House would be on the Game Time app looking right now at third baseline tickets if he wants to keep his job, because that's the only way he's getting into the park. And if J.R. House would like to use the code CINCY, CINCY, it's open and free to him. He gets $20 off his first purchase. Terms do apply to J.R. House, and by terms apply, I'm not just talking about Game Time's terms. I'm talking about my terms. It's called, you're not allowed back out there. He's going to serve a 10-game suspension for being a dumbass. That's a part of the Game Time, Reeb. That's what you get on Chatterbox Reds. Game Time, if you're looking for it, two clicks, Nick, and you can get all the way to the checkout. You can use Apple Pay, no free ads, but they get one anyways, and that's my favorite part of the app. You like the ticket view. Some people like the lightning deals. They can get lightning deals. You wait till the game time. You can wait right up to game time. You get a lightning deal. Get some percentages off the tickets, and as always, use code CINCY, CINCY, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Use Game Time, the Game Time app. Download it today. 988, boy, does it feel like it's irrelevant. Text, call if you need it. Mantherapy.org. This is one of the toughest shows I've done, man. I got to be honest. Why am I so upset? Why do I care this much? Why do I care this much? I don't know. I really don't know why I do, to be honest. It's one of the worst performances I've had on this show in a long time. And you know what? I contribute it directly to one guy on third base that wears number like 57 or something. I don't even know what his number is. Should be 0 tomorrow. But anyway. You want to talk about Ashcraft getting hurt too? Why not? Everybody's hurt. All right, before you do that, I'm sorry. Before you do that, I gotta keep us going here. We got some super chats. Kyle, thank you so much for supporting the show on a day like today. Said I was sitting right behind third base. Oh gosh. like JR. But come on, man. 5-1 game, no outs, big yikes. Kyle, can you put in the chat? Can you let me know if you're still here? Can you put in the chat? Did anyone at the third base line? Did we get on JR a little bit? I just want to know. Like, was there any chirping? Michael Rolfe said hi. I couldn't help it. I think he was trying to stop himself from super chatting tonight, and just couldn't do it. Michael Rolfe, thank you for supporting the show as always. All right. Listen, Nick. I'm being honest. Every time this stuff happens, and we've had it happen like 5 times over the last 2 weeks, this is the difference. I know when we get down to the end of the year, everybody's going to forget about this game. They're going to forget about the situation that happened. And I'm like, I can't do that tonight. I can't get over it. You got one job, Nick. Like, you got one job. Ashcraft, he's hurt. Shout out to Nick Kroll for standing there and doing a media press conference in the middle of his bobblehead room. Is that his office, by the way? If that's Nick Kroll's office, gotta be honest, that's a shame. That's a shame. Looks like he's got a cubicle. And there's nothing wrong with cubicles. I've worked in them before, but I thought that my man, being the VP of baseball operations, could possibly get maybe a little mahogany desk. No. I don't know if you've seen the interview, Nick. Did you see it? He's got like basically a little student desk behind him with some bobbleheads.
Well, did you want Emilio Pagan or did you want Nick Kroll to have a nice office? He had to trade his office to get a middle reliever, man.
Might be true. Well, I bet I'll tell you right now, he's wishing he had that mahogany desk because Emilio Pagan, he ain't worth an IKEA desk, man.
I should have used the only guy that hasn't really panned out from the free agent class. Do you want me to walk you through the Ashcraft? I did put some notes here.
Please do.
For people who maybe missed it. So, let's rewind to Ashcraft. Ashcraft got demoted, got called back up. When he got called back up, Ashcraft, a quote from him was, "I was pretty upset. You play here to get here, and then when you have to go back, it's a punch in the gut." Ashcraft, of course, comes back up. First start was a clunker. Then he made 2 pretty solid starts against the Yankees and the Tigers. Then he gets optioned back down. I guess after his option, Ashcraft decided to get a second opinion on his elbow. And I guess now he's going on the IL. For those who do not know, there is a pretty big difference between being on the IL versus being optioned in AAA. If you're on the big league injured list, you get service time, which counts towards 10 years. If you hit 10 years, you get a pension. Obviously, you get paid more. You could go closer to free agency. So being on the big league roster obviously is significant to Graham Ashcraft. I'm not saying that he did anything to manipulate this, but because like that would be trying to get out of paying them. So I don't know. I guess read between the lines however you want on this. I don't know if I necessarily have a good feel on this. I don't know. You could see issues on a lot of different sides on this. What was your kind of instant reaction to this?
I didn't have a chance today I seen a little bit of the clip and I just assumed that he was genuinely hurt. I didn't really get a chance. Of course, your mic cut out for like 10 seconds there when you were getting through the middle of your point. So I don't mean to like make that a big deal. We got to figure out this whole microphone situation. We'll do that. Just so you don't absolutely blow a gasket when you go to put this podcast together. So just so you know, you might want to like remember this. Everybody close their ears real fast. I'm going to help Nick on the podcast out. You ready, Nick? You ready for this? Close your ears. I'm being serious, chat. Ready?
Okay.
You're going to have to go back and find those claps, and then you're going to have to redo your little take on Ashcraft, just so you know. But I'm going to put my hand up in the air and say I don't know enough about the situation to have a real take on it yet. I've been all over the place today, so I seen that he was out for a couple weeks, and then it sounds like what's beyond that?
All right, so what happened today, Nick Kroll said that Graham Ashcraft has been dealing with some elbow tightness over the last week. He apparently tried to grind through it. It got looked at. After he got optioned, he got a second opinion, which showed an elbow injury. Ashcraft now is not going to throw for 2 weeks. So if you take a step back, Ashcraft, of course, was optioned down to AAA. When Ashcraft got called back up after Nick Lodolo's injury, Ashcraft, after his first start, had a quote that said, "I was pretty upset." He said it was a punch in the gut getting sent down. Nothing too crazy, but clearly he was, pretty upset about being optioned. Definitely took it to heart. Those who aren't aware, when you get optioned down to AAA, you lose your service time. If you're on the active roster on the injured list, you get service time, which is very important for just about everything. I mean, you get closer to free agency, you're earning a big league salary versus a minor league salary. You get closer to 10 years of service time, which is where you can earn a lifelong pension, which is huge for these guys. So it's a big deal for Ashcraft. I'm not saying that Ashcraft, decided to get the second opinion just because of trying to make sure it was on the injured list versus being optioned. But that's, I guess, something that would have to at least be in play and be part of the conversation here about what happened here. Or did the Reds just completely screw this up and botch this and didn't really pay enough attention to Ashcraft? I have a hard time believing that, but that's I'm sure the other side of this.
Yeah, so essentially it's a game of manipulation or not. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, speculating on this, and you're not speculating on it. You're just laying out the groundwork as to why there's going to be people that are frustrated or they wanted certain things to happen. You're not suggesting that the things are being manipulated. So, really quick though, Nick, before we move forward, just pop your reset your mic. And then we'll go from there. I could hear you the whole time, but you're way off. All right, we're back. All right, the draft. There was obviously a quote or basically an interview pregame with, I don't have the guy's name in front of me.
Joe Katuska interviewed him once. Really nice guy.
Yeah, Joe Katuska, and I think the PR probably team wouldn't love really what he said, and I think he's lying, which is fine. If you want to lie and act like you don't have an opinion, I just don't know why you lie. I think it was a fun question by Chris Welsh. Shout out to Chris Welsh. For those, I'm paraphrasing for those that don't know. Chris Welsh asked, "Hey, you guys got obviously the number 2 overall pick. Are you secretly hoping that the Cleveland Guardians take somebody specific?" It's a yes or no question. If you say yes, no one's ever going to know who they're talking about. If you say no, that's fine too. But he didn't say that. He said, really, actually, we really haven't gotten into having a discussion around, what we're going to do in that spot. That's just a lie. Like, that has to be a lie. You have the number 2 overall pick. You're having discussions, I would think, every day, if not every day, quite a considerable amount as we get closer and closer to this draft, as far as what you want to do with that number 2 pick. Because, with all due respect, Nick, we all know how these drafts go. Once you get past the first round, you're really starting to get to what is a lottery type situation from there. The first round, I thought it was a crapshoot altogether, the whole entire draft. I have come around on that take, and I am a lifelong learner, because last year I said that, and there was some people that challenged me on that, and I looked up the first rounds of the past probably 5 or 6 years, Nick, and there is a considerable amount of players that are meaningful baseball players on said teams that have first-round picks. So I said, you know what? That's a good point. It's a fair point. This is a huge opportunity for the Reds. Let's face it. This is a massive, massive opportunity, and they can't swing and miss. Obviously, I want the kid out of Oregon State. I have not watched a ton enough tape to where I can feel extremely confident one way or the other. Obviously, Condone from Georgia is going to be also 1-2. It's either going to be Bazana or Bazana, regardless. It's going to be one of those two, you would like to think, but maybe not. Nick, you have a thought on the draft?
Yeah, on a couple things on the quote. Number one, I'll give a little inside baseball here. When I interviewed Joe Katuska, I think it was his first ever interview outside of like normal media scrums. So he's not a guy that speaks in front of the media a lot. I think he could have come up with a better answer, but I also I also think there is validity to not saying that we've made up our mind or anything like that, because from my understanding of the draft, which is not some great knowledge, I don't, follow this that close. Um, I could see why you would want the players to think you have not made up your mind, whether they believe that or not, because you are trying to get these guys to all sign for the lowest slot value to keep, or not the lowest slot, but the lowest dollars you can to save more money for later in the draft. So that's my guess why the comments came across the way that they did. Was I'm sure the Reds know exactly if Cleveland's taking this guy, we're taking this guy. I'm sure at this point they've made up their mind on that, unless there's such a huge discrepancy of this guy signs for this amount versus this guy signs for this amount, and there's a strategy involved with it later on. So I do think there maybe is a reason why you would not come out and say that, but there is absolutely no way that at this late the Reds know who they want their guy to be.
I agree. They know who they want. And if they don't know who they want by now, then I don't even want to know that. I genuinely don't want to know, because I think that would spell incompetency. McLean, he had an update today. I heard that snippet. I think it was it Sabo who had mentioned it during the broadcast, kind of gave an update there. I heard Sadak chime in and say that was great news. To be fair, I didn't hear what she said, though.
There's a whole bunch of injury updates. I wrote them all down here. So Matt McLean is planning the keyword on playing a rehab game starting on August 12th. TJ Friedel is trending to return the first week to 10 days after the All-Star break. Ian Jabot, still alive, will throw his first bullpen July 16th. Could be back with the team in the middle of August. Brandon Williamson, first bullpen is July 23rd. He's targeted to return in September. And then Nick Martini had thumb surgery, a, quote, chance of returning this year. So we got all the injury updates all at once this afternoon.
That's good, as long as they're true. Some would say to be skeptical.
Yeah, Matt McLean takes Noelvi Marte's spot for the postseason. I mean, it's, even trade.
Postseason. After a night like tonight, man. You're what keeps me going, Nick. You're what keeps me going.
Oh.
This guy's scoreboard watching. What do we got?
Reds gained a half game today on the Cardinals. They lost a doubleheader. Got swept. They got swept! The Padres lose? I mean, it's a pretty big missed opportunity, though. Yeah, Padres lost too, so the Reds didn't lose any ground today. Actually gained ground. That is a man, they could be 2.5 back right now, though. That stings a little bit. What, am I not supposed to watch it? Am I supposed to be upset that the Royals swept the Cardinals?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're fired up, and I'm still sad. That's why you're elite. I mean, there are things that you are elite at, and that is one of them. Is just silver linings. You're a silver lining kind of guy.
You know what would have really sucked today? You lose that game to the Rockies, and the Cardinals sweep the Royals. Now that would have really sucked. This only half sucks.
All right. See, now you've brought the show all the way around. Here we are. I mean, at this point, do we pull out the Nicolas Cage pillow and dunk basketballs? I mean, why not?
No, easy.
I'm kidding, of course. All right, Reds MILB presented by Nick Kirby.
We got some good news today, Reds minor league action.
More good news.
The Louisville Bats, Michael Trotwine, the Bats were down to their final out. He had a 2-run walk-off home run. Louisville now back above 500, 44-43, and their 6-5 win over St. Paul. Lyon Richardson, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Richardson, a 4.43 ERA through 18 starts. Maybe a guy that we should start keeping a little bit of a closer eye on today, because during that interview, talking about Graham Ashcraft, Nick Kroll mentioned Lyon by name as a depth starting pitching option, along with obviously Nick Martinez as well. So Lyon's at this point up pretty high on the depth chart if the Reds needed it. Christian Roa, he gave up 2 runs in 2 innings of work himself. Zach Maxwell, another shutout inning for him, struck out 2 batters. That's now 6 consecutive scoreless appearances, but even more important, 5 consecutive appearances without allowing a walk. Jacob Hurtubise just 1 for 5, but did steal a bag his third of the year. Tony Kemp was on base twice. Don't have a graphic for them. Not sure they deserve it. Chattanooga is losing 11-2 to Biloxi. That's in the bottom of the 9th.
What's Austin doing?
I will give you your Austin update. Give me a second.
Please.
We'll give you an official Austin Hendrick update.
Wouldn't be a show without it.
Well, want the good news or the bad news?
I'll take the good news. He's still playing.
Got a hit.
What's the bad news?
Bad news, he struck out the other 3 at-bats.
Got to start somewhere, Nick.
Yeah. Start of a hit streak. All right, high A. Dayton Dragons, they won 5-4 over South Bend. Sal Stewart on base 3 times. Cam Collier 1 for 4. Hector Rodriguez on base 3 times as well. Carlos Jorge 1 for 3, a walk and a stolen base, his 19th of the season. Down at low A, Daytona Tortugas, they won 5-4 over Fort Myers. Sammy Stafura, he was on base twice, stole his 12th bag of the year. Yerlin Confidant extended his on-base streak to 15 games. E. Smith Pineda on base twice with a double. And Adam Serwinski, 2 2/3 innings, gave up 1 run, did walk 3, struck out 4. The talented lefty Adam Serwinski, Reds number 30 prospect right now, has a 2.87 ERA in 16 starts this season. And last but not least, out in the Dominican Summer League, the DSL Rojas beat the DSL Padres Gold 6-3, and the DSL Reds beat the DSL Astros Blue 5-0. Adolfo Sanchez 0 for 4. Nabel Mariano 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Jervin Moriallo also 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And Yekel Soriano, the 18-year-old outfielder, 2 for 4. He's now hitting .318, .822 OPS, and 88 at-bats this season.
We know what Sheng-En Lin's doing.
Sheng-En Lin was off today. Got a much-needed off day. The entire ACL complex league is off.
Do you know where he went to get lunch or dinner or anything?
Yeah, my sources haven't come through yet today, but I got a couple people out stalking outside his apartment, trying to get some photos.
All right. Well, I just want to keep tabs on him, man. I want to make sure
they're on the payroll. It's on the second sheet.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. I'm going to make sure we don't go a show without an update on Sheng-En Lin.
And I appreciate it.
No doubt. I got to keep up with the times. Who, what, when, where, and why. But speaking of keeping up with the times, tomorrow, your boy here, I think, might sneak down to the game. You got some people filling in. I don't know exactly. I know Tissett said he could help out if needed, but I don't know what the exact plans are for tomorrow quite yet. But take the kids down there one final time probably of the summer, and we'll see if they can't find a way to win a baseball game, Nick.
Yeah, Craig is joining. I thought my son's T-ball game was at 6, so I was like, I'll be completely fine. Then I found out it's at 5:15. Should still be good if things go south.
So you're saying both of us might be out?
Well, I don't think. I mean, again, knock on wood. If this is a normal game, we're on at 3:40, and that gives me plenty of time. My T-ball's 5 minutes down the road. Last one of the season for old Charlie. But old Charlie also went to bed screaming at me and said, I'm never playing T-ball again. So I don't know. It's going to be a game time decision. However, they do go to Dairy Queen after for the final game of the year. So I think he's going to rally. But we got a lot up in the air over at the Kirby household.
Do you coach third base, Nick?
It depends. I'm the 4th string coach. So if one of the other ones are off, then I get to coach third base. If not, I sit on the bench. I'm the last guy.
Just curious, have you ever seen a guy in T-ball get thrown out at third base with nobody else when you're down by 5 in T-ball?
No, I saw better base running at T-ball today than Tyler Stevenson. We have some well-run, well-oiled machine with our base running. It's really improved drastically from the start of the season.
Yes, that's good coaching. I was gonna say, I do want to apologize to Tyler Stevenson because at first I just put out a quick little message that's like who has the lowest baseball IQ? I'm clueless here, because I didn't get a chance to see the replay, obviously, in real time. I just wanted to get it out as fast as I can. Clearly, I seen the replay, and clearly I seen that he wasn't able to see the ball down the right field line. I just, it is a tough pill to swallow. All right, Rolf. Coming in hot here. Nick's going to do who, what, when, where, and why just after this. I'm going to be honest. The FBI van is sitting on a dark street listening. Couldn't keep up with this chat. 50 directions a minute. Insider jokes. Claps to reset. Nick is trying to work. Craig's got a wrench. It's a tough show. It's been a tough show. The chat is all over the place. You know, and on top of that, Nick's microphone is not cooperating the way it's supposed to. I'm sad. I just am. You know, I'm human. There are times where I get my hopes up watching this team, and I'm thinking to myself, finally, can we just get lucky and break through? Said a little prayer when Santiago Espinal was up there, and I was thinking, you know, Lord, Santiago Espinal, poor little soul, we all know that he probably isn't supposed to get a hit here, but please, Lord, just let him get lucky. And there he goes. It's a ground ball at the middle, and it gets by, and I'm thinking to myself, we can't possibly not come through again. And sure enough, there we go, and the Rockies figure it out. So who, what, when, where, and why? Let's do it, Nick. They play tomorrow, and hopefully they can win a baseball game.
All right, for let's say 1:10 start time, plan your day accordingly. For the Reds, Carson Spires, 2-2, 3.64 ERA. Last start, obviously, Spires' worst start of the season. He gave 3 home runs to the lowly Detroit Tigers. Spires has never faced the Rockies or any of their active hitters. For the Rockies, the lefty Austin Gomber, the husband of TikTok star Rachel, 589 followers on TikTok. Think you can see if she's down at the ballpark, see if she can give us some tips, Trace.
Rachel Gomber.
Rachel Gomber. See if you can find her. See if she's down there. See if she can get our Chatterbox account.
What kind of content are we talking about here? Funny?
Just, you know, kids stuff.
Gotcha.
Kids traveling, following their baseball dad. So it's gonna be tough for us to match that. I'm not gonna lie, but I'd love
sounds riveting. Sounds riveting.
You know, she's doing something right. Austin, his last start, very good against the Royals. 7 innings, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He was really struggling prior to that. 5 starts prior to that last one, had an 8.65 ERA. So hopefully that Austin shows up. Gomber relies on 4 pitches, a 4-seamer, changeup, knuckle curve, and a slider. Fastball averages 90 miles per hour. Career 4.78 ERA in 8 games, 4 starts against the Reds. You might remember he was back with the Cardinals. He's actually part of the Nolan Arenado return. Your active Reds are 19 for 56, 339 average, 844 OPS. Candelario's 3 for 13, De La Cruz 1 for 3, India 1 for 5, Steer 1 for 5, and Austin Slater, and I saw a lot of these guys, 9 for 17, 3 doubles, and 2 triples off Austin Gomber.
Gomber.
Gamba.
So does she have a better TikTok than Stuart Fairchild's girlfriend, wife, whatever it is?
I'm sure she's got a lot more. I mean, 600,000. That's a pretty big number.
You think that's good? Yeah, that's probably good. I'd say it's good. I don't know what she's doing to get 600,000 people to follow her, following Gomber. Gomber with the win. All right, folks. I'll be back better than ever on Friday, and I'm gonna promise you one thing: I'll be better. Okay? I don't know. I don't know if J.R. House is gonna be better, but he's gonna have to be. You know, he's gonna have to be, and I'm gonna have to be better on the next show because ultimately, I don't think I really said anything on this show that really was serviceable. That's what happens when you let emotions get the best of you. Hopefully, I don't say anything mean tomorrow because I'm going to go down to the ballpark and my first goal is going to go see if there's any open seats on the third base line just to make sure that if this happens again, there's going to be somebody there to let them know about it. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow is his day. But as always, go Reds. We'll be back better than ever. Give the guys tomorrow a chance and follow along. Do your thing. Go Reds. Appreciate you.